The K63 wireless mechanical gaming keyboard from Corsair can connect to your computer via ultra-fast 1 millisecond 2.4 GHz wireless technology or low latency Bluetooth, and features per-key blue LEDs, 15 hours of gameplay on a single charge, and genuine Cherry MX switches. It's lapboard ready too, so click the sponsor link in the description for more information.
Excellent!
Hello everyone and welcome back to my backyard. This is going to be my Tesla installation part 3, which means the solar is going in today. If you haven't watched part 1 or part 2, I'm going to start off with a quick summary of what's happened so far. So this is my backyard, such as it is. Not much to look at, but the improvements going on have been to my home. So part 1 was basically a main panel upgrade where they tore my old main panel off and installed the new main panel. They also did sub panels and some of this work at that time. Part 2 was supposed to be the installation of the Powerwall as well as the solar, but when they started checking out my roof, they realized that the roof was a little bit too old and too worn out for them to comfortably install solar on top of. Now, since that's something that they would typically catch in the pre-inspection process and let me know ahead of time and not actually on the day of installation, Tesla said, hey, we're gonna offer to replace your roof here. And so that's actually what happened over the past couple weeks. They didn't replace the entire roof. They agreed to do the area that the solar was gonna be installed on top of, but they sent a crew out, they came and did that, and they did a really good job. I did a little bit of a time lapse of that. Unfortunately, day 1, when they were actually tearing everything up, the time lapse stopped halfway through. So unfortunately, I can't show everything here, but on day 2, they came back, installed the rest of it, finished it off, and look, they even painted my little connector points for the plumbing stuff up there. They painted it all so it would match. Isn't that pretty? So from what I'm told, today should actually be fairly simple. All they really have to do is put the brackets and stuff on the roof, put the solar panels on top of that, and then connect it up to the inverter over there, which is already installed. So fortunately, most of the work for today is already completed, so it should be a relatively short day, but I'm going to document it for you guys nonetheless. In fact, I started the time lapse pretty early today, so this is already up and running in order to capture every moment, or at least every 3 seconds or so. Oh my gosh. Look at this little one. You're not supposed to have your toys outside. Oh, that's not allowed. She doesn't care. Oh, now you're gonna poop. Meanwhile, Hero's over here just incredibly well behaved. Yes, good boy, Hero. One thing I'm kind of hoping I can do today is they left one of these DeWalt cordless batteries for their DeWalt power tools here, so hoping I can return this because I don't have any of these tools. It looks like it's seen better days though, so maybe this one's dead, but I'll get back to him nonetheless. This is from when the Powerwall went in. Oh, so I just wanted to return it. Tesla has arrived. Oh, yay! Solar panels getting stacked up. They're just gonna set a ladder up and take them straight over the top of my roof. These are the connectors. They can be chained together. I'm guessing these are directional. Do not disconnect under load. The model panels getting installed is SC325. Max power output is 325 watts, and I did confirm that's, so if they're under full direct sunlight, that's like peak performance per panel. I was curious what's inside a work truck like this. Look, it's the inside of my inverter. I'm part of it. This is where it takes the sunlight, makes it into go juice, and it spits it out there and goes over to that stuff. Sorry for the overly technical explanation. People were laughing in the first video because I was calling this a solar system.
What are you supposed to call it?
I don't know. Solar system seems accurate to me. People were like, thinking that sounds pretty grandiose.
Call it Milky Way now.
Photovoltaic system? I don't know.
Well, there you have it, guys. As predicted, work went pretty quickly today. It only took them a couple hours and the solar grid is installed. Now, if you're counting all these, there are 18 panels total. 325 watts per panel means that's 5,850 watts of total potential power that these can generate. That's a peak, of course, so if it's overcast like it is today, I'll probably be seeing a little bit less power generation than that, but should be more than adequate to supply my home with the power it needs to power things. So I was kind of curious about how these are actually mounted to the roof and if there was any flashing required or that kind of thing. And they actually have these plastic pieces that go. So they use a stud finder to find where the actual beams are and they mount directly to that. There's a large screw or bolt. It's pointing on the end, so I believe that means it's a screw, and that just screws straight down through it. And then there is a channel on the side where they can inject some goop. The goop had a special name, but I forget what it's called. But the goop goes in there, it fills out the bottom, forms a seal between the roof and that plastic piece, and then the goop starts squirting out the other side, and that's how you know that it's full and that they can move on to the next one. You also might notice that my whirlybirds are gone, and this is actually when they did the roofing. The whirlybirds are old technology and they suck now, but I've actually got a vent that's along the entire top line of the roof now. So the warm air that goes up there during the summer when it's hot can just exit out there, and apparently it's a much more efficient way of doing that. So that was a nice upgrade that came along with the roof. And then kind of a nice finishing touch for the solar panels themselves is this kind of edging that they put along with them, just to make them look like they're a little bit more flush with the roof. Apparently they've been doing this along the edges, the bottom and maybe the top edges for a while, but they've started adding them with some corner pieces to the sides too. And this is actually a newer thing that they've only been doing for the past few months. But even though I signed up for this whole thing last year, they went ahead and included that for no extra charge. So I've definitely been appreciative of Tesla's efforts to make sure that I'm satisfied with this experience. And even stuff like needing to do the roof or adding extra things like that, they've not been upcharging me or upselling me on even. So that's pretty cool. I feel like I've gotten some bonus stuff there without actually having to pay for it. I want to point out that although all the hardware is installed, it's still not completely done yet. There's this conduit coming down here for the inverter, and they're planning to do some better paint matching with that. I'm okay with this paint matching that they did right here, but I guess they're going to try to do it a little bit more accurately before they paint that conduit. Right now, of course, the system is not on. Still need to schedule inspection from the city and with Southern California Edison, and then I can actually get PTO or permission to operate and actually turn this whole system on. So you also might notice that, like, for instance, the stucco hasn't been replaced here. This is specifically because the inspector actually still needs to check this before they give the okay, and then that will be covered up too. So there's still a little bit of stucco work to go on there. And my intent was to close this video off by answering some of the questions that people have left in the comments of the past two installation videos, but unfortunately I can't get the Tesla app up and running until I have the permission to operate here, so I feel like I should put that off until the next video. So guys, if you have any questions for me specifically about this installation, the Powerwall, the solar, or anything, please leave those down in the comment section below and I'll check those out. And when I do the follow-up video on this, which probably isn't going to be for about a month or so, I'll give you a demo of the system in use, I'll talk about how it's actually affecting my power bill, and I'll talk a little bit more specifically about how it actually works. Just so you guys know, if my power goes out, if the grid goes out, this will still act as a battery backup for the home. That's actually something that I wasn't 100% sure about. If the grid goes down, it will switch to the battery and I can run off the battery for a while. Also, I can run my air conditioner off of the solar. So the solar can power the AC during the day when it's hot out and I need the AC and the sun's on the solar, but the AC is not connected to the Powerwall. So if the power is out, I can't run off the Powerwall. Or if it's at night, I need to run the AC off of the grid rather than the Powerwall. But we typically don't run the AC at night, and I did come into this experience knowing that that was going to be a thing. And maybe, if enough people click my referral link down in the video's description and get Powerwalls themselves, I can get another Powerwall, because if I do 5 referrals, I can get the red Powerwall that's signed by Elon Musk. This is purely an added thing that I discovered after the fact, after I had paid for this whole system and everything. But guys, if my videos have helped you make this decision, if you're like, yeah, I like what I've seen here and I'm down for the Tesla experience and you sign up, consider using my referral link because I get a $400 credit for solar signups and 5 Powerwall sales, and I get the red one signed by Elon, and that would be kind of cool. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video, so definitely hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button too if you want to see my final follow-up video where I talk about all the other details and actually show you this whole system in use once I get the okay to turn it on from Southern California Edison. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.